Hello everyone, happy Saturday to you. I hope the first day of your weekend has gone delightfully. Thank you for joining me for another daily Bitcoin price action analysis with the mighty Bitcoin. Now, before I jump straight into it, on what looks like it's going to be a bit of a red day for Bitcoin, I just want to check in on the weekly closure for CME, which you can see here as my colleague charges down the stairs because I've now started talking to the laptop and she thinks I'm probably trying to engage with her. But no, I will not be throwing the ball for you at 9:30 in the evening. And yes, you can see it kind of closed as I mentioned in yesterday's video. It's open and closed at the same point for the week. So that was a week of sell-offs followed by buybacks, and that's basically where it is. That to me, on a weekly close, in the context of the overall weekly uptrend, suggests continuation or further consolidation, but it certainly makes me feel more comfortable that Bitcoin is very unlikely to break down from here, and therefore, with the passage of enough time, produce another move to the upside, which I think everyone kind of expects. And if previous timelines on the macro front continue to be the case, then I think it's kind of general consensus. It's going to be more upside this year, maybe into the beginning of next year, and then see what happens from there. But everyone might be wrong. Bitcoin may have hit its high and it might be about to pull back. You've always got to have that. You've always got to have an eye for both situations. Not an eye on both situations at the same time because you'll go cross-eyed, but an eye or a thought towards both situations, because if you're watching this channel, you're either interested in trading or investing, and that's about making money. It's not about losing money. And so, yeah, I think this is good personally for more upside. Now, so it closed out at, let's call it 68.8, and as you can see, since then, Bitcoin has had a bit of a pullback, but not on CME because it's closed. It's having a weekend off, whereas Bybit and all the other perpetual exchanges are cracking on through till Sunday night when CME reopens. And yeah, today saw basically a move up to close to 70,000, which I was alluding to yesterday. And it's pulled back from there in a fairly significant way. I mean, $3,000. Now, obviously today hasn't closed yet. It's still 3.5 hours to go. The obvious support area is here, in my humble opinion. So it's on a daily time frame. I mean, I'm drawing it as line, but obviously you have to appreciate it's an area. But it's basically 65,000. I've been banging on about 65,000 for probably the last, well, at least half week, maybe even longer than that. I was talking about it on the way down as an area of resistance, which proved to be the case. And now I'm talking about it on the way back up as an area of support, which so far has proven to be the case. I think it probably will. It could even come back as far as sort of 64. But 65 for now looks like the obvious area of support resistance. And obviously when price is above a support resistance line or area or whatever, division, whatever you want to call it. I nearly paused the video then. That would have been, well, fine, because then I would just unpaused it and carried on. So when price is above it, it should act as support. When price is below it, it should act as resistance. You know the drill. Now, the momentum still up and will remain, well, it's still to the upside, but will remain with an upward slant as long as Bitcoin closes today above 66.8, which it's just about above at the moment. I think it tested right down. Yeah, it tested lower than that with the wick, and today is not yet closed, so maybe it will come down and turn this back down. But for now, it's still on the rise on the daily time frame. What about the week? Yeah, the week's well, it hasn't closed yet, so there's no point in talking about that in any great detail. We'll just turn green then. Oh, it's turned back red. That's why you need the closure. So yeah, daily momentum still to the upside. 4 hour. Yeah, so you can see that's a fairly good rejection from just shy of 70,000. Kind of to be expected. So now you can see a much better trend formation, right? And so you can use this to, well, no. I mean, you can honestly do what you want. But this is what I do, is I look for trend and support resistance. So you can see the trend is to the upside. The trend manifests itself by higher highs and higher lows, which then gives you an obvious target. This is why it's useful. So apart from my blue line, and this wasn't so clear on the daily, but you can see it very nicely on the 4 hour. This is the obvious target low, right? So for a pullback from this current move, from the current high, which, having said that, there's still 3.5 hours of this 4 hour candle to go. If that turns into a pin bar to the top, that's not a pullback. But let's just presume it does come back a bit further. This is the obvious sort of first line of defense, if you like. Well, that blue line is, but on a 4 hour time frame, wicks down to here are okay. But you wouldn't want 4 hour, and therefore you only need a few 4 hour until you get a daily. So you wouldn't want a few 4 hours or a daily closure back below 64. Me personally, I wouldn't want daily closures below 65. But yes, you can see that's the obvious local low, which if breached could then become a high. I'm getting myself twisted up here. If breached, so if this happens, which I don't think it's going to happen, this would then become the higher low, or the local low, with this as the lower low. Oh, wow. Well, that was hard to get out. Why was that so difficult to get out? And that's a change in trend from one of up to one of down. It still wouldn't be game over. Like, you'd still have 60,000 as your, certainly weekly support resistance. So you can get all sorts of jiggery pokery that go on through a week. But for this, what this basically boils down to is if the next move is going to be to the upside following the current trend here on the 4 hour and the daily, then I would suggest that this low shouldn't be broken. It might be. It's just my suggestion. But I think that makes logical sense, and I hope you see what I mean. The momentum on the 4 hour, you can see here, needs to get back above 68 and a bit to turn back up. And it's about $1,000 away from there. So, bit of a move needed to regain that. But as you zoom out, and you know what they say, if in doubt, yes, I can hear you all scream, zoom out. That's right. You can see this is a nice uptrend. You could draw a trend line on if you want. I can't be bothered. Just like this was a nice downtrend. This was a nice uptrend. This was a jump aroundy downtrend. And this was a very choppy uptrend. There was actually a sort of a wedge formation in the end. This was a very obvious uptrend. This was just jiggery pokery to the side. So, yeah, if you're not expecting, or I was always expecting Bitcoin to have some troubles up around these sort of lower $70,000 regions, and like I've said in many videos before, the longer it chops around here, comme ça, then the better that looks for a breakthrough at some point. A big strong rejection getting back below that low, however, it's more consolidation. The consolidation goes on. Talking about consolidation going on, I haven't actually seen how many weeks. I've lost count. I think this might be 19 weeks. Let's check. Let's see. Let us see. You know, it's rivaling this one. It's getting to look a similar magnitude in time. So if you start with that first one, I always drag the whole thing, don't know why. 20 weeks. Man, so just about to close the 20th week. Wowzers. I mean, if you're not bored of this by now, then good for you. Hopefully my videos bring a bit of mirth and entertainment to this otherwise sideways price action. I mean, yes, it's up and down, but if you look at it on a weekly time frame, even worse if you look at it on a monthly. I haven't looked at this monthly chart in ages. You can almost get a spirit level to it. That is really quite remarkable. What's that monthly? 60. Where did the previous monthly open? 63. Yeah, it's fair enough. La-di-da, la-di-da. Anyway, that'll do. 11 minutes. I hope I haven't bored you, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. And even if you have, that would be marvellous if you could like and subscribe. And share. Go on, give it a share. Share it with one of your friends who's like, what's that crypto thing all about? Oh, yeah, I've heard about bit about Bitcoin. Can you tell me more about it? I mean, either tell them or share my YouTube channel with them. And tell them that I've invited them personally. I'd love to see their smiley face. Even though I won't be able to see their smiley face. Okay. All right. See you tomorrow for Sunday. We'll see where Bybit looks like it's going to close the week. Bye.